What's up guys? Today I'm bringing a fun new pattern release by Love Notions. It is the Compose Robe, the perfect pattern for 2020. So today, December the 1st, Love Notions dropped the 2020 pattern, the Compose Robe. This year we're all about lounging around because really and truly we have nowhere to go, right? A lot of us are still working from home, working online, doing school online, etc. So to me, this is the pattern of the year. The first thing I know you're all gonna love about this pattern is that your fabric choice is endless. You can make it in knits or wovens. So when I'm thinking of knits, I'm thinking fleece, French terry, anything soft and cuddly, minky would be so cozy. Mine is made from fleece, but I actually didn't use fabric, and I'll get into that in a second. And when I think of wovens, I personally am thinking satin, a nice romantic satin robe, maybe with lace edging to add some details, or maybe even velvet. I think a velvet one would look stunning. Since the Compose Robe is a new release, it does have the extended size range for Love Notions patterns, which is extra small to 5X. My measurements are in the description box below. For reference, I made size large and then I graded to the extra large shape because the problem I had with my old robe is that it's a one size fits all. And let me say this as plain as I possibly can. My bottom too big for a one size fits all robe, okay? So the front was like opening when I walk around the hip area. Not ideal. It's getting a bit too small for me now. So I made this one large, graded to extra large. I have full wrap coverage around the hip. There's a standard bust option and a full bust option. I went with the standard bust option as usual. The full bust is more for people who have a 4-inch difference between the high bust and the full bust measurement. I have a 3-inch difference. And this view that I made is the collared view, but you also have the cutest hood option as well. I just don't have any need for the hood, so I went with the collared view, which is just a straight band that goes all the way around the entire robe. Then you have these ties and these belt loops. I absolutely love these belt loops because they go into the side seam. You don't top stitch them on after. And obviously with bulky fabrics like fleece and minky, you really don't want to be trying to top stitch some little tiny bulky belt loops. I think that could get a little bit interesting. So I'm really happy with how this robe went together. The construction was super easy. I didn't have any issues at all, not even top stitching on the pockets. I did shorten my bodice 1 inch above the waist like I always have to do because I'm short-waisted, and then the sleeves I shortened 1.5 inches. Otherwise my sleeves would end up in my tea or in my soup. There's also one of these same loops in the back for hanging the robe, and my old robe, which was store-bought, did have that. So this feels very ready to wear. This does not feel like something I made. Of course, your pockets and belt loops are optional. Some people may just prefer the ties you just tie around. I love having them on the loops so I can just hang up the robe and I don't have to worry about where the tie disappeared to, you know. There are 2 length options for this robe. There's the knee length and the calf length. I made the knee length because of my climate. I mean, this robe, I can only get away with this in the nighttime. Like I had this on earlier today to try and shoot in the house, and because of lighting, I had to close the windows and the curtains. Y'all almost melted in this thing. So this is a nighttime robe and a Christmas time robe. My old robe was actually fleece as well. Wow. Somebody's doing some sort of metal work while I'm recording. The Compose Robe also has a kids version, and I'll put up the sizing for that on the screen somewhere. And the tester kids that I saw look so cute in their versions. I think this would be a perfect Christmas gift, especially for the kids in your family who you don't know what to get for. Yeah, I think a robe will be really nice, and you can like use the favorite novelty print, minky or something. That would be so cute. Now there is another bonus pattern that comes with this pattern absolutely free, and it is a hair wrap. Cannot wait to make. I did see some toweling fabric in my fabric store, so I think I'm gonna get some of that to make my hair wrap, because my hair, when it's wet and I'm walking around the house, it's dripping everywhere. If I sit on the couch is soaked. If I sit on the bed is soaked. So it's a really good way to keep your wet hair off off your furniture, off your back, and it will help it to dry faster because it will absorb the moisture, as long as you use the correct type of fabric. You could even use an old towel. Now onto the fabric that I used. So when I went to my fabric store, they only had kiddie prints in fleece left, and I was sold on fleece. Like, I really wanted a fleece robe to replace my old robe. Now they had this teddy bear print. It was like the same color, a beigey champagne color, and then it had darker brown teddy bears on it. But by the time I went back, it was sold out. That was actually a baby print, like to make a baby blanket. But they only had the kiddie ones left, which were like little mermaids and cartoony prints. Really didn't want to use those ones. So I decided I was going to buy some fleece throw blankets. So I looked for the cheapest ones I could find. So this is actually really thin, but it's also really soft and cozy at the same time. I bought 2 throws. I calculated the yardage based on the measurements on the packet, and that actually worked out cheaper than if I was supposed to buy one of the kiddie fleece prints. So that's a little hack if you can't find the fabric that you want to use. This was my first time working with fleece fabric. While it's not the most difficult to sew, it probably isn't the easiest for a beginner either, because it does tend to slip and slide a little bit and fluff gets everywhere. My advice: use tons and tons of pins. I literally emptied my pin container pinning this thing together just to make sure it doesn't slip and slide. I would not advise using clips. I did try, and the clips just popped off like nothing. My main tip is to have a lint roller handy. This saved my sewing room yesterday. I have fluffy mats in here, I know, bad idea, and they do have a little bit of fleece in them, but nothing compared to what I would have had if I did not use this. So what I would do is, every time I finish cutting a pattern piece, lint roller. One time I rolled the table and I actually rolled this on the edges of the piece that I cut. I'd also advise using a walk-in foot or a knit foot, anything that raises up off the fabric, because a typical presser foot, I think the pressure is just a little bit too high. You will need to adjust your presser foot pressure if you use your regular presser foot. Otherwise, what happens is that the fleece tends to drag, and then you could have some horrible drag lines and the fleece could twist. Also, on the Love Notions blog, our team of ambassadors have put together an amazing list of common fabrics that we like to sew with, and tips and tricks, and also pattern recommendations. I will link that blog post down below because it is really helpful, especially for beginners. So yeah, this is the gist of the Compose robe. It really is the comfiest, coziest robe ever. The inside is even softer than the outside, and here's my little hanging loop, which comes in very handy. And since I use the blankets, this is basically going to be like wrapping a blanket around me when I'm wearing this robe. So if you can't find fleece fabric, highly recommend using throw blankets. The Compose robe is on release sale this week. It is $3 off for the adult version and $2 off for the kids version. I'm gonna have my affiliate link down below if you want to go ahead and purchase the pattern. And of course, I will insert a few photos. It was so hard to shoot this indoors with the lighting and everything, but I got it done in the end. So I hope you enjoyed my photos, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I'm so sorry Esmeralda is standing here naked. Anyway, I am out, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!